We're going to talk about setting up our own Tekkit server on the EnviousHost system. Now, the EnviousHost system is MultiCraft, and this should be fairly generic throughout. Now, the very first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to log in to our MultiCraft system here. We're going to log in. Alright, once we're logged in, we may want to go to Files, FTP File Access. Now, this information we will need in order to log into our FTP system. Here you will have your username, your password, and of course the port. This is the host. That is information you will need for your FTP client. We'll be using FileZilla. Go ahead and make a note of this now. Alright, now that we've done that, the very first thing that we need to do is go back. We will need to stop our server. Once we see this red X, we know that it is indeed stopped. Now we can go ahead and start up our file server. We will be using FileZilla. Now, I have my information already saved here, so we can go ahead and connect. If you do not, your host goes here, username, password, and port. The port for me is the default 21, so I can leave that blank. If yours is 21 as well, you can also leave that blank. However, if you're on a non-standard port, you will have to enter that. Now, the very first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to back up everything in this folder. So we're going to go ahead and back out. And one more time, and we're going to want to make sure we're in a folder we can find again. So I'm going to go to my Documents folder. Alright, we're going to go ahead, right click in the white space, create a directory. We're going to name this Old Server and hit OK. Now that we've done that, we can open up our Old Server directory. Over here on the right, we're going to highlight everything in our directory and simply drop it over. Once this has completed, you can go ahead and put your new files in and delete these. Alright, through the magic of video editing, we are now done. And now we can go ahead and click over here on the right side, highlight everything in the window, and delete. We will hit yes. This may take a few moments to cycle through and delete everything in your folder. Alright, now that that is completed, what we'll do is we will go ahead and find the TechnicPack website, which is here. It's technicpack.net. Alright, we're going to go ahead and find out how we get the server. We will choose Tekkit. As you can see here, we can download the Tekkit Server. The current version is 3.1.2. However, this should be fairly generic and you should be able to do this with any version of Tekkit in the future. We simply click. We will save this file. Once this file has fully downloaded, we will double click and copy everything within it. Now that we have done that, we will simply put that off to the right. Close this. Now, what we can do is we can go to our FileZilla window. We can drag and drop into this window. As you can see, everything that's in this window has been added to the queue to be uploaded directly to our server. We can now close this. Once everything has uploaded, you can then go back to your browser and you can tell it to go to your mod, Tekkit Classic or Tekkit Lite, depending on which one you chose. However, there is a very important step in between this. Before going this far, if you have not yet contacted support and requested that they allow you to run these mods, you may have issues. So, please make sure you have requested this from support. We chose Tekkit Classic, so we will choose that. Now, the jar file. This is very important. You want to make sure this matches up. Here you see it says tekkit.jar. Going back into our FTP client, we're using FileZilla. Make sure that this says tekkit.jar. Make sure that name matches up. If it does, you can continue. If it does not, simply highlight this. Right-click, go to Copy. Going back to your FileZilla or FTP client, right-click the jar in this folder. Go to Rename. And then either hit Control-V or right-click and go to Paste. Alright, now that that change has been made, a small change, but a change nonetheless. As you can see, it went from a capital T to a lowercase t. We're going to minimize this. Make sure that the name of the world is what you want it to be. We're going to leave ours as the default, which is world. After we've made all of these changes, we want to save, and after it's done saving, we will find ourselves back at the top of the page. Now, you can start your server. Starting your server will do a few things. It will generate more files, the configuration files, as well as many other things. Once we see a green check mark right here, we'll be able to go back into our FileZilla or FTP client. And as you can see, it's now a green check mark. If everything worked the way it was supposed to, we can go right back into here, right-click, and go to Refresh. As you can see, it's created a few folders and some files. To be extra sure, what we can do is we can go into the console, and scrolling through the console, you should see that it's talking about starting mods are not in regular Minecraft. As you can see, BuildCraft integration module is loaded. BuildCraft is something that's not in regular Minecraft. Same with IC2 and many others. So we know we are running Tekkit, and we can now join our server. I hope that this tutorial has been of help to you. If it has, please like, subscribe, and comment.